ATA for telling my brother-in-law he's a pathetic loser after he called my wife a bitch. I 35 mem have been married to my wife Mona, 35F4R, 13 years now. We were together since we were 15, and she's the absolute love of my life. I'm a lawyer, and she was a nurse. She used to work full-time and supported us mostly on her own. While I worked part-time through law school, I paid for it myself, and eventually I passed the bar exam, and I've worked hard and have won a couple of big cases, and I now make more money than I ever dreamed of. I work at my friend's dad's law firm, which is one of the most successful and well-known firms in our country. I make so much now that I'm able to support our household alone. So I had her retire and become a stay-at-home mother. When we had our first son 7 years ago, she loved it. And now we have 3 kids, our 7-year-old and 2 daughters, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and now she's pregnant again with yet another daughter. We love them all and decided 4 is enough for us, so she's our last baby. I hoped for another boy, but another girl is just as precious. Being a girl dad is honestly such a blessing. Last night we were over at my in-laws' house. My father-in-law passed away 15 years ago, so it's just my mother-in-law and little brother-in-law who live there. My wife and mother-in-law were excitingly talking about the pregnancy and discussing baby names when her brother out of nowhere called her a bitch. He asked her how many times is she going to be opening her legs for me and that their dad would be disappointed and how much of a slut his daughter turned out to be. My wife started crying and I got furious at him. I called him a pathetic loser with no life who's still living with his mom at 23 with no college or life or anything going on in his pathetic life, and that his dad was a good man and that he'll never be half the man he was. He started yelling at me to get out of his house. And so I took my wife and the kids home. My mother-in-law kept begging me to stay, but I didn't. My wife says I went too hard on her brother and that he's just a kid. I told her at his age we were already a fully independent married couple while he has no life or future and is still living at home with his mom. He never been to college, even though my wife and Mill been begging him to go for years, and he only has a dead-end part-time job at a gas station. He's a failure. This wasn't the first time he said something like that. He has said before that my wife was with me just for the money, which was absolutely not true. Because for years she was way more successful than me, and she stuck right with me at my lowest. This was just the first time I really stopped his bullshit and said it how it is. Am I the asshole, though?